We've created this brief video to help you better understand your auto insurance options. So let's start out with the basics. The first type of auto coverage is what's known as liability insurance. This coverage can help pay for the damage if you're legally responsible for accidentally injuring someone or other property in an auto accident. Auto liability coverage falls into two categories. First, there's bodily injury liability. This covers medical expenses, pain and suffering, lost wages, and other special damages. The second category is property damage liability. This covers damaged property. For example, it would cover damages if you hit a lamp pole, or mailbox, or even a house. So you're probably aware that in most states, drivers are required to carry a minimum amount of liability coverage in order to register their vehicle or obtain a driver's license. And each state has its own minimum liability coverage limits. For example, the limits for California are $15,000 per person, $30,000 per occurrence, and $5,000 for property damage. So what this means is that if you are in an accident where you are found to be at fault, your insurance company may pay up to $15,000 for any one person's injuries in the accident, and the maximum that they will pay is $30,000 for that accident, or what is also commonly referred to as per occurrence. So to clarify, with these minimum coverage levels, no one person will receive more than $15,000 for bodily injury, and the insurance companies will only pay out a maximum of $30,000, regardless of how many people are involved in the accident. The second component of this liability coverage is the $5,000 for property damage. This will pay for the other person's property. So if you're in an accident and you hit someone else's car, your insurance company would spend up to $5,000 on your behalf to have the damaged car fixed or replaced. So you may be thinking to yourself, $5,000 to replace a car? Or $15,000 to cover injuries? Well, in a different video, we discuss some guidelines for selecting the appropriate auto insurance coverage levels and take a closer look as to why the state minimum coverages may not be enough. So one last point about liability insurance, because this seems to cause a bit of confusion for people. Liability insurance only pays for the other person's injuries and damages to their vehicle. If you only have liability insurance in place, you'd be forced to come out of pocket to cover the expenses to fix your vehicle and your medical expenses. The next series of coverages aren't required by law, but as we review these, you'll see how each of these coverages can be very important to protecting you and your valuables. First, let's talk about uninsured, underinsured motorist liability. This type of coverage is in place to protect you or your passengers that are hurt as a result of another driver's negligence, even when they don't have insurance. That's right, uninsured motorist coverage acts like the other driver's insurance and addresses your injuries and property damages up to the limit of your uninsured motorist coverage. So you may be asking yourself, why is it a good idea to have uninsured motorist coverage when it's mandatory for all drivers to have insurance? Well, the answer is simple. According to the Insurance Research Council, 15% of drivers have no insurance, and another 30% don't have enough. So that's why uninsured motorist coverage insurance is a great way to make sure that you and your family have coverage in place, even if the other driver has little to no insurance. The next type of coverage is what's known as comprehensive coverage. This type of coverage protects you from losses that result from fire, theft, falling objects, riots, storms, earthquakes, floods, and even when there is a collision with a bird or animal. And another way to think of comprehensive insurance is that it applies when there's no accident involved. Comprehensive coverage can also include car theft insurance if your vehicle is stolen or vandalized. It's important to note that comprehensive coverage is normally required if your vehicle is leased or financed. The next type of coverage is collision insurance. This type of insurance pays for the damage to your vehicle resulting from an accident, whether or not the accident is your fault. The next type of coverage is medical coverage. This coverage can help pay for many medical expenses that may not be covered by your existing medical insurance plans. It can also provide coverage for you or a family member when riding in someone else's vehicle. Next up is our towing and roadside assistance service. With this coverage, you'll get emergency roadside assistance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This coverage provides assistance if you need a tow, you lock your keys in your car, you get a flat tire, or a dead battery. In some cases, this coverage will be included in a comprehensive policy. The next coverage option is for loss of use, or this is sometimes called rental car coverage. This coverage can help you cover rental car costs or other costs for transportation. Most carriers offer different levels of daily limits and overall maximum coverage levels for you to choose from. Next up, most carriers offer a glass deductible buyback add-on. With this coverage, your insurance provider will replace your windshield after you pay a deductible. And in many cases, they'll provide free repairs for small cracks and chips. So I hope we've helped answer some questions you may have had regarding your auto insurance coverage options. Contact us today so that we can help you make informed decisions in choosing the right coverage to protect you and your family.